rapid redundancies. Baha Mar liquidators drop a bomb with only 1 day's notice.
Rumkey reconnaissance. The Deputy Prime Minister visits one of the islands hit by the hurricane.
Dial tone donation and international agencies' aid includes sat phones. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Some 2,000 employees of Baha Mar sent to the unemployment line today as the company apparently exhausts its ability to continue paying salaries. Good evening, everyone. I'm Charisma Robinson.
And I'm Chris Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. For the scores of employees at the Bahamian Riviera, they were hoping for a speedy resolution to the debacle. However, their worst fears were realized today. Now, for many, it signaled the end of a road that they had hoped would have been a path to a bright and lucrative careers in the hospitality sector. Clint Watson is in studio live tonight with this major development and what has been a long struggle, it seems, to get this resort operational. Clint, what now is the government's response to it, and what exactly happened today?
Well, we're going to tell you all about it, Chris, but first, effective tomorrow, about 2,000 employees of Baha Mar will be made redundant. The short notice of redundancy issued by the Joint Provisional Liquidators, Chris Global and Alex Partners, followed approval from the Supreme Court Justice Ian Winder today. According to the liquidators, the layoffs were due to the financial insolvency of the $3.5 billion resort project that has been stalled since June 29th. The layoffs impact approximately 1,440 non-active employees and approximately 580 active employees, including members of management and line staff, or 2,020 workers. Staff were advised of their status by notice to their individual email addresses or communication from supervisors. Alistair Beveridge of Alex Partners, one of the Joint Provisional Liquidators, in a statement said, "We were paying housekeeping staff when there was no housekeeping to do, spa staff when there was no spa, casino staff when there was no casino to operate. Thanks to monies that were made available to us by the government from funds that were due to Baha Mar for road construction works, we were able to keep these staff members on as long as we did. We know that they have obligations, that many of them gave up other jobs to join the Baha Mar Dream Team, and now we are continuing to focus on how best to make that dream a reality," end quote. In a letter to employees, CEO Sarkis Israelian writes that he writes with a heavy heart, but blames the liquidation process for forcing significant workforce reductions. He says the unfortunate truth is that with Baha Mar still not completed, no concrete resolution in place, no confirmed funding source, and without the benefit of binding the parties into a proven reorganization process, there is simply no way for Baha Mar to sustain the thousands of jobs that are being cut today. He chided that this would be a moment to ponder the validity of decisions made to oppose Baha Mar's Chapter 11 filing and to push forward with the appointment of the provisional liquidators, setting Baha Mar on its current path. Israelian said he is disappointed that they were not able to provide staff with the careers and opportunities that he says they deserve, but hopes what they receive up to this point has made a positive contribution to their lives. He expressed gratefulness to staff and, in the face of tough times, wished them and their families strength and positivity in the weeks ahead. He concluded that he believes the strength of each employee will enable them to persevere. Now, while these mass layoffs appear to be disappointing news, it's not the end of the process. Managing Director of Chris Global, Edmund Ramming, said in a statement, quote, "Though today's layoffs are difficult on everyone, it further highlights the urgency for everyone to remain at the negotiating table and maintain the dialogue that may lead to a resolution, a restart of construction, and the completion of the Baha Mar project," end quote. Management and staff who were made redundant are being offered assistance in development of CVs and resumes and in job hunting. Staff members were retained to provide assistance in job skills development and life skills, with employment workshops scheduled to run from October 29th to October 31st. It's also important to note that today's actions did not affect the Melia Nassau Beach Resort.
Now, moments ago, Prime Minister Honorable Perry Christie released a statement. We just got it, and I'll read it for you here. It says, with this appointment, he's responding for the affected Baha Mar employees and their families of the action taken by the Joint Provisional Liquidators in making some 2,000 employees redundant. Now, this arises from the insolvency of Baha Mar and the protracted exercise to secure negotiated settlement. The government, he says, has made the strongest possible representation to the Joint Provisional Liquidators and the stakeholders in this commercial transaction between the developer Baha Mar, the secured lender China Export-Import Bank, and the principal contractor and equity partner China State Engineering and Construction Company for the retention of Bahamian staff, meeting outstanding obligations to Bahamian contractors and subcontractors funding, both interim and for completion purposes, and completing the project on mutually acceptable terms as soon as possible. Now, whether the process of a negotiated arrangement is achieved or the bank proceeds to receivership in the time remaining before November 2nd, 2015 date when the process of liquidation could be started, the government is